Hello everyone, let's keep going crazy with Complete the Square, and I'll show you some of the other things that you can do with this. So if you want to convert to vertex form, you might have noticed that all the ones we have done so far have had an x equals 1. If you make x not 1, you can still do it, but it's a little bit more work. So let me show you how we're going to do this. I'm going to factor a 4 out of these first two terms, so that's going to be 8x squared, or 4, okay, factor out a 4, and you get x squared plus 8x. And I'm going to put a blank there, and I'm going to move this 24 over to the other side, and we're going to come back to it. So right here, what I've done is I've factored that 4 out. Now I have x squared plus 8x, and I've got my blank. And I'm going to complete the square, but you got to be really careful when you do this. I'm still going to draw the picture, x plus 4, and I know I'm going to add 16 right here. This is 16. But what it's not is 16 over here. That's not actually 16. What you have to be aware of is you're completing this perfect square right here to make that 16, but it's not really 16 on this side of the equation. It's really 4 times 16. So when you add 4 times 16 on this side, you're actually adding 64. So for this problem now, I can still factor, and I get x plus 4 squared, and 64 minus 24 is 40. And to convert it to, there should be a y in here, but if we want to convert it to vertex form, then we'll say 4 times x plus 4 squared, subtract the 40 back to, so everything's on one side. So let's look at this. I think I have this in Desmos. We've got 4x squared plus 32x. Is that this one right here? Yeah, okay, right here. You got 4x squared plus 32x plus 24. There's your quadratic. And you can see the vertex is at -4, -40. And if I graph this one, they're on top of each other. So I know I did it right because they're in the same place. Okay. So it's the same quadratic, but it's in two different forms. But it's important that you realize when you're doing this complete the square, it's not really 16 here because you have that a value. Let's do one more like that. Get your x's on one side, so minus 36x, well, it doesn't really matter, and I'll say equals -90. And now I'm going to factor out the 3. X squared minus 12x plus something is -90 plus something. So let's see, can we do this in our head? If you take 12, you cut it in half, you get 6, you square that, it's 36 on this side, but on the other side, that's 90 and 18, so 108. And now when I factor, and the reason it's 108 is because it's 3 times 36. So 3 times x minus 6 squared equals 18, and then when you move everything back over, x minus 6 squared minus 18. That could be considered vertex form if we have a little bit better notation. So let's see how that one goes. 3x squared, if you put everything on one side, you get 3x squared minus 36 minus 90, and you can see that the vertex is at 6, -18. Cool. That's converting. So vertex form conversions are a little bit more difficult than if you just want to solve. And I'm going to show you, if you want to solve this thing with 4 and 48 and 104, that's this function right here. So 414 or 448 104, right? Yeah, okay, right there. 4 -48. That's this one. Notice this is if I divide everything by 4. So if I have 1x squared, 48 divided by 4 is 12, and 104 divided by 4 is 26. They have the same x-intercepts, but they're not the same graph. If all you care about is zeros and you don't care about finding the vertex, see, they have different vertices. If you don't care about the vertex, then you can just divide it out. So for these problems, since I'm just trying to find x-intercepts, I'm just going to divide everything by 4. X squared minus 12x plus 26 equals 0. And then when I want to solve this, I'll say plus blank, and I'll move the 26 back to the other side. Half of 12 is 6. 6 squared is 36. And since I don't care about the solving thing, or the conversion thing, it's actually 36. X minus 6 squared equals 10. Square root both sides. X minus 6 equals plus or minus radical 10. And then when you add 6, 6 plus or minus radical 10. So let me go back to the picture and show you that these have the same x-intercepts, and if you do 6 plus radical 10, you get that 9.1, there's that one, and if you do the minus, there's the 2.83, there's the other one. Okay, if you don't care about the vertex and you just care about the zeros, then you can just divide out the a value. So let's do one more like that. So I'm going to just divide everything by 2. x squared minus 14x plus something is negative 35 plus something. And then if you do b over 2 squared, you get 49. 49. X minus 7 squared equals 14. And square root x minus 7 is plus or minus radical 14. So x is 7 plus or minus radical 14. And if I graph that one, 2x squared minus 28x plus 70, that's right here. You can see there's the function. And do we do it right? 10.74. Yep, 10.74. Make it a minus 3.25. Yep, I know we did it right. Okay. Now, there's one more thing that you can do with this, and this I'm going to leave for you to try, but you can figure out the quadratic formula if you complete the square using that method I just showed you. I will tell you that the first step is to divide everything by a. You figure out the rest, and you will end up with the quadratic formula. Good luck! Smash that like and subscribe.